My husband is gay. The story I never thought I'd tell. My name is Crystal. I'm 34 years old and I recently found out something that changed my entire life. My husband, the man I've loved since I was a teenager, is gay. It still feels strange to say it out loud. I don't say it with hate. I don't say it with anger. I say it with sadness, with confusion, and honestly, with a lot of pain. We met when we were just kids. I was 14. He was 15. Back then, I was quiet and shy. I didn't really stand out. I liked to read, listen to music, and sit in the back of the classroom. But Jack, he was the opposite. He was funny and loud. The kind of guy who made everyone laugh, even the teachers. He had this light about him. Everyone loved him. And somehow, out of all the people in the world, he chose me. We started dating in high school. I had never had a boyfriend before. I didn't think anyone would ever look at me the way he did. But he did. He made me feel seen, safe, loved. That love carried us through so many things. We went to college together. We got married. We bought a house. We had 2 beautiful daughters. We built a life that, from the outside, looked almost perfect. But now I realize I didn't know everything. I think the change started when I was about 21 and he was 22. That's when I started feeling something was different. At first, it was small. He didn't talk to me the same way. We didn't laugh like we used to. He stopped holding my hand without thinking, stopped looking at me with warmth in his eyes. It was like I was slowly becoming invisible in my own home. I tried not to overthink it. I told myself he was stressed with work. I believed things would go back to normal. But they didn't. The biggest change was in our intimacy. And I don't just mean sex, I mean connection. You know that feeling you get when your partner hugs you and it feels like home? That was gone. I'd reach for him at night and he'd turn away. When we did have sex, he seemed distant, like he was just somewhere else. It hurt. It made me feel ugly, unwanted, unloved. Still, I stayed quiet. I didn't ask questions. I didn't want to push him away more than he already was. Eventually, he quit his job, saying it was too stressful and the commute was killing him. I supported him, like I always did. He got a new job closer to home, and I hoped maybe things would improve. And in a way, they did, but not with me. He seemed happy again. He smiled more, talked more, just not with me. He came home excited to share stories about work, but I noticed he avoided talking about us. That's when the doubt started growing in my heart. I began wondering if maybe he was cheating. The idea hurt, but it also made some sort of sense. I thought maybe there was another woman, someone who made him feel alive again. And as much as I didn't want to believe it, I needed to know the truth. One night, he told me he was going out with some coworkers to a club. I smiled and said okay, but my heart was screaming. Something felt wrong, really wrong. I did something I never thought I'd do. I put a tracker in his car. I know that sounds crazy, I hate that I did it. But I had to know. I had to stop wondering. After he left, I called the babysitter to watch the girls. I got in my car and followed him. I kept telling myself I'd just watch, get answers, and go home. He stopped at a place I didn't recognize at first, but when I parked and looked closer, I realized what it was. A gay bar. My whole body froze. I'm not against gay people, not even a little. That's not what shocked me. What hit me was the meaning behind it. The confirmation of something I had never even considered. Still, I walked in. The bar was bright and colorful, full of laughter and music. People smiled at me, waved. It wasn't a bad place, it was actually full of joy. But I wasn't there to have fun. I was looking for my husband. And then I saw him. He came out of the bathroom, his shirt slightly unbuttoned, a relaxed smile on his face, the kind of smile I hadn't seen in years. He walked to the bar where a man was waiting, a handsome man. The man smiled at him in a way I used to smile at Jack, and Jack looked back at him with the same look. Then, they kissed. My heart shattered. I turned and ran out of the bar. My hands were shaking. My legs felt like jelly. I threw up in the parking lot. Not because I was disgusted, because my world had just crumbled. I felt betrayed, heartbroken, and completely lost. All the nights I cried myself to sleep wondering what I did wrong. It wasn't me. It was never me. He just wasn't attracted to me. Not in the way I needed. Not in the way I thought. When he came home, I was waiting on the couch holding the photo I had taken. My hands were still shaking. He walked in and looked surprised to see me awake. I stood up and showed him the picture. He went pale. "I can explain," he said softly. "Don't you dare," I replied. "Don't you dare try to spin this." I screamed. I cried. I asked him how he could lie to me for so long. How he could build a life with me, have kids with me, and never tell me the truth. He didn't yell back. He didn't deny it. He just stood there quietly, then left the house. I stayed behind, crying harder than I ever had in my life. The girls had woken up by then and were crying too. I wiped my face, went into their room, and tried to be strong for them, even though I felt like I was falling apart inside. That night changed everything. The next few weeks were a blur. I felt like I was walking through fog. I couldn't eat, I barely slept. I didn't know how to tell people. What could I even say? Eventually, Jack came back to talk. He apologized, truly. He said he was sorry for hiding the truth for so long. He admitted he had always known deep down that he was gay, but he was scared. Scared of losing his family, scared of hurting me, scared of being rejected. I believed him. But that didn't make the pain go away. It still stung every time I remembered our wedding day, our late-night talks, our family vacations. I wondered how much of it was real. How much was just him trying to pretend? Still, I could see he was serious about staying in the girls' lives. He wanted to be there. He still loved them. That part had never changed. Then he did something I didn't expect. He asked if his new partner, his husband, could be part of the girls' lives too. He didn't push me. He asked with kindness, knowing it might be hard for me. And after thinking about it for days, I said yes. Because no matter how much pain I was in, I knew our daughters needed love. They needed support. And if this man was going to be part of their world, he needed to love them too. And he did. He does. It's been months now since everything happened. And I won't lie, some days are still hard. I still cry. I still wonder why I wasn't enough. But I also know now that it was never about me. Jack didn't lie to hurt me. He lied because he was scared to be who he really was. And in some strange way, I get it. We're both rebuilding our lives now. Different lives. But not broken ones. I'm focusing on my girls, on healing, on finding who I am without the man I thought I'd grow old with. And you know what? I'm proud of myself. I could have let bitterness eat me alive. I could have turned our daughters against him. I could have made things ugly. But I didn't. Because hate doesn't heal. Love does. So now, I wake up every day and choose peace. For myself. For my daughters. For a future that still holds something beautiful, even if it doesn't look the way I thought it would. And every time my daughters laugh, I remember why I made that choice. Because they deserve a happy mother, and I deserve to be happy too. I may not have the marriage I dreamed of, but I still have love, just in a different way.